Hey guys, Pat Tokuyama here. Today I wanted to do a review, or several reviews, of some of my favorite lenses. Samyang 50mm. This is the Samyang AF50 1.4 FE2 lens. This is the most recent lens that I had purchased for my video and food photography production. So you can see it's a decent size here, not as big or heavy as some of the other competing lenses. It actually has a lens cap that it came with, and it uses 72mm threads, which is a little bit less common than some of the other threads. Most of my other lenses were Tamron and they use 67, for example. The focusing ring has a nice texture on it, so it's very easy to hold. It's like a light rubber. And the lens is mostly made of plastic. It does feature two custom buttons here, the M1 and the M2, if you wanted to program the camera to switch between aperture or focus modes. There's also a focus hold button. So why did I get this lens if I already have a 45mm, or if I already had a 55mm, which I've had both in the past? For me, what I wanted was just, I really like this focal length. I didn't realize it until I tried it. And especially so with the F1.4, where you can really blur out the background and separate the object that you're trying to take a photo of from the background. So it really looks nice. The background, or the bokeh, is very pleasant looking. You're not going to get as much cat eye, and the bokeh balls, if you're doing lights, for example, are a little bit more rounder and more natural looking than some of the other lenses that I've used. With that, if you're going to be shooting wide open, which I would expect that you would be if you are going to be getting an f1.4, otherwise what's the purpose, right? So if you are going to be doing f1.4, it's very fast, and the photos, and both the photo and video, I think look great, at least for the way that I've used them in my business. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the pros and cons. Pros are, first, that this is weather sealed, so if you're going to be out and about in the field and doing photography, whether it's photo or nature, whatever, you won't have to worry about the elements damaging your lens. Second, it's very sharp, especially in the center. I don't know if you guys are looking at those MTF charts where it shows you the sharpness and how it drops off across the frame. But that's something that makes this somewhat competitive in the marketplace compared to some of the other lenses that are available as well. It also allows you to use the Eye Autofocus, or the animal autofocus if your camera features that, and the focus is quick and very quiet for video and photography. It's also relatively lightweight. And then these custom switches and the focus button are nice to have as well. So those are some of the pros. Some of the cons, I think that the plastic build is definitely a drawback. You need to be careful with this, or I mean any lens for that matter, but because this is plastic, it could potentially crack or get damaged easily. Second thing is the 72mm filter. Like I mentioned, most of my other lenses, or most of my filters actually, are 67mm because I use Tamron lenses as well with step up or step down rings. Unfortunately, I had to buy one ND filter just for this lens because it's fast and I wanted to be able to use it outside in the middle of the day. Those are some of the cons that I could think of for this lens. I think at this point, who I would recommend this for is somebody who wants to really separate the person or the object from the background and get that nice 1.4 look, which is about 2/3 of a stop difference than the 1.8 look. And I think it's subtle, but it definitely helps to make the picture or the video look a little bit nicer. Definitely always good to have a 1.4 lens in your collection if you don't have one yet. I think this is a good versatile lens that you can use for street photography when you're traveling, if you're doing food photography like myself, or even just videos where you are shooting like an interview or a person talking. I think that's all that I had to say for this lens. Hopefully this helps you if you were just trying to make a decision and buy this one for yourself.